So when you want to work with the Eclipse, first download the Eclipse. Download the Eclipse. Go to eclipse.org, or you can just Google it. Go to eclipse.org. Download the latest version. Download the latest version. I'm using Eclipse Mars. You can go with go to this. Download it. IDE for Java developers. Eclipse IDE for Java developers. We are supposed to download Eclipse IDE for Java developers. Then extract the file. When you download it, you get a zip file like this. When you download, we get a zip file like this. When you download the file, we get a zip file. Extract the zip file. If you want to run this Eclipse, we are supposed to set the Java also. Because Eclipse will be running with Java, we require a JRE for Eclipse. What I was supposed to do, go to the oracle.com. Nowadays they are asking the username, password also for the Oracle registration. Go to the Java 8 download. Go to this. In the Oracle downloads, we have here, accept the license agreement, download the corresponding version of your operating based on your operating system. Windows 64 or Windows 84 or Linux or Mac, whatever it is. Okay. Now, download the file. When you download the file, you get something like this. It is a exe file. When you download, we are going to get a exe file. For Eclipse, we are going to get a zip file. For Java, we are going to get a exe file. Click on next. Don't do anything. Just simply click on next. Simply click on the next. It will be automatically installed. It is a exe file. Click on next. Automatically it will be installed. Once it is installed, we are supposed to set environmental variables. Now always the Java will be installed on C drive. So go to the C drive. In the program files, we have a Java. The Java, we have the JDK. The JDK, we have the bin. Copy the file. So what I am supposed to do, go to the C drive, program files, Java, copy the file. Now go to my computers. Give a right click, properties, advanced system settings, environmental variables, new Java home, where user variables. Then you give path of your Java file. What is the path we are taking? Once again, what is the path? C drive, program files, Java, JDK, till the JDK, without bin, till the JDK 1.8.0. Copy that file. Without the bin, there is a home file of your Java. Then save it. You will be getting like this. Then go to the path. In the system variables, we have a path. In the system variables, we have a path. In the system variables, we have a path. Here at the end, semicolon, copy the path including bin. Java home is without bin, path is with bin. Above user variables we have to give without bin file. Here path, don't click on edit text. Here at the end, semicolon followed by your Java path slash bin. So once you give this, go to the command line, give Java hyphen version. If the Java is installed, you get the version of the Java that is installed for you. Version of the Java that is installed. Java hyphen version. If the Java is installed properly, you get the version of the Java which is installed. Now, what you are supposed to do? Install the Java, go to the C drive, program files, Java folder, JDK. This we are supposed to keep it as what? System variables. Including the bin, it should be what? Path. Without bin, system variables. With bin, path. Okay. Now, we want this file to be extracted. Meanwhile, what I need to do, we require a plugins for this. Salesforce Eclipse plugin. Salesforce Eclipse plugin. So what is the plugin we have? Look at the path. Copy of the file. Copy of the file. This is a copy of the file. This is the Salesforce Eclipse plugin. We want this file to be extracted properly. We have to wait for the file. So what I need for this? First we need to install Java. Then we are supposed to install before the file extracts. Let me show the documentation for you. Now what I have done, I gave a step-by-step procedure for you, how to install the Java, right? How to install the Java. Go to the oracle.com, download the JDK, exe file will be coming, next, install it, go to my computer, right click, properties, advanced system variables, environmental variables, there click on new. Now we can give this as Java home. Okay. Now this you can give as a Java home. Here you can make a modification. This is a old screenshot. The Java home we can give without bin. Scroll down. I can give. This is a system variables. System variables. This is on the top. We are supposed to create user variables. On the user variables also you are supposed to create. Let me create. It takes some time before the file goes. Take some time for the files to be extracted. Meanwhile, let me put up this. So here we are supposed to create system variable, user variable, and system variable. Right. So this is how you are supposed to create environmental variables. Then you click on new Java home, the path, then create user variable, new, the path along with the bin file, then click on OK, just give next. Then file is installed. The file is installed. Now what I was supposed to do, just follow the screenshots what I given. Then go to the command line, you can give Java C or you can give Java-version. It will tell you whether Java was installed properly or not. Go to eclipse.org, go to download the IDE for Java developers. Once you download, you get a zip file like this. Extract the zip file, the file will be extracted. This is what we are doing. So it is taking a lot of time for extraction. You can just follow this documentation. I will upload this documentation. This is already available in the Facebook community. In the Facebook community, the file is already posted. You can go to the Facebook community, download that file. Installation of Java, installation of. Okay. Right. We have no other option other than waiting.
Which way is Facebook community, Satish? It's Mailasoft Facebook community.
Satish Maila.
Okay.
Satish Maila.
Okay, thank you.
Hi Satish.
Yes, sir.
How to set path in Mac OS?
We need to go through it. I'm not sure about it. I am not done with the Mac. Okay. Probably.
Okay.
Let me check out.
Okay.
Please, can you please upload this document in Wilson account that we are using for notes?
Size will be more, I guess, because multiple batches are here.
Okay.
Size of the document is more. Probably 30 pages or something. I don't think it will support. Right. So the question here is, why are you going for an Eclipse? You have a developer console, right? When you have a developer console, what is the purpose of going for an Eclipse? Your developer console doesn't have version controlling. If any program I'm writing, if I modify it and save it, it is saved. If I write any program, make any modifications and save it, it is saved. And if I want to get back to the old code, I will not be able to get back to the old code because it only maintains the current version. But when you go to the Eclipse, we have an option of maintaining the version controlling. That means I can maintain a local repository. I can maintain a local repository. If any changes are done, I can store the changes in my local system as one version. So if something goes wrong, I can revert back to the old version. That advantage is there in the Eclipse. Second, when you're going with the Salesforce deployment procedure, we have a change set concept. Using a change set, I can deploy from sandbox to the corresponding production. I can deploy from sandbox to the corresponding production. I can deploy from sandbox to the corresponding production. But when you go to the Eclipse, I can deploy from any arc to any arc. When you go to Eclipse, I can deploy from any arc to any arc. If it is an Eclipse, I can deploy from any arc to any arc. But if I go with the change set, only from the sandbox to the corresponding organization production or sandbox to sandbox. Only within the arc I can do it. Eclipse can help you to deploy from anywhere to anywhere. Eclipse will help you to maintain the version controlling, whereas the developer console doesn't provide you the version controlling capabilities.
Satish, what is the difference between Eclipse and Salesforce DX? I think pretty similar. They are doing the
But
same works,
yeah,
right?
the Salesforce is
Version
giving
control.
built-in functionalities, and Scratch arcs also they're providing.
Okay.
Right. So we got this Eclipse extracted. We got the Eclipse icon here. Click on this icon. Once the Eclipse is extracted, click on that Eclipse icon. Choose the workspace. Choose the workspace. Right. Now, if you look at this, what is the file you are getting here? Java. We need to go to help, install new software. Give the URL, whatever the URL we got here. copy this URL. What is the URL? Salesforce to Eclipse. Okay. This is how we got it. Give the add. Look at the format. Help, install new software, add, force.com. And somebody is asking in the beginning, Eclipse. Salesforce DX came recently. Eclipse was the oldest pattern what we are using with the Salesforce from long back. To achieve this third-party IDE's functionalities, the Salesforce has given inbuilt structures like Salesforce DX. Okay. There also we are using Visual Studio Code. Here we are using Eclipse. There we are using Visual Studio Code. Right, Amma? Okay. Go with this. Now, Salesforce Debugger, IDE, Lightning support. Next. When I give add force.com and if I give the URL, next. Accept the terms and condition. Step by step screen I have given the Word document again. Each and every screen I have given the Word document. You can just follow the Word document. Right. Now, the plugin is installed successfully. Once the plugin is installed successfully, let's wait. The plugin is installed successfully. Choose the workspace.
Satish, what is the plugin, Satish?
Now, connectivity, whatever the files are required, the installation they have given with that URL. They will internally take care about the connectivities. See, I need some files to connect these two. I need some files to use it. They are giving that files as one particular file to you. We give that URL, automatically fetch the consent required files from that URL, process everything. Okay. Now go back to this in short, generalized immediate, generalized statement. Go to the window. Now plugin is installed. Window, perspective, open perspective. Other. What we received here? Right? Window, perspective, open perspective, other, 4-star. Now it has moved to what? 4-star. Now go to the new, look at the format. When you look at this, new, what I received here? Salesforce force.com project. Now, I need to take any one of the username password. Now, I am going to the user, making the IP address open for everyone. Otherwise, I have to give security token there. I just want to avoid the security token. Salesforce 123. Security token not required because I made IP address open. Otherwise, I have to generate a security token. I have to enter the security token. Next. Choose the initial project contents. The consent files will come here. This is how we got it. Now, go to the story. You are able to see the project here. The corresponding codes and everything came here. So, I fetched everything into my Eclipse arc. Now, what did I do? File, new, force.com project, username, password. Click on next, fetch, finish. Now, this is right now. Right. Now, whatever we got here now, this is in the offline mode. I want to convert it into online mode. Whatever we got here, it is in the offline mode. I want to convert it into online mode. So, what should I do? Give a right click. Force.com, work online. When I say work online, whatever I am going to write here, automatically this will be applied to the 319 RP. So, look at this 319 new. We have Visual Force page. Finish. I wrote the code here. I made a change. Once I saved, here we have at the bottom we will be finding a build space. Setup. What was the page here? Eclipse page. We are able to see the page in the, because I was working on online mode. When I say online mode, whatever the changes I am doing here, directly they will be uploaded to your account. So go back again, file. Then I was taking here force.com, Visual Force page. So anything that I do here automatically will be reflected back. right? So this is how we are going to get the story. Now the point is, I want to merge this with my GitHub. GitHub, let me come back to I'm using the GitHub. I have some common GitHub here. Now, I was trying to create new repositories, new repository. I have created a 319 repository. Is it a public? Now, if you want to give the README notification, you can give it. Unless it is a commercial account, you cannot make it private. Now, what I am giving you, Java S7 is a public account. So, I was creating a repository. I logged in to my GitHub. I created a repository. Now, you got a URL here. You got a URL here. That is required for me. So, go to this project name, team, click on the project name, team, share the project with the team, codes.com, right? Okay, team, share project, create, the moment I clicked on share, if you look at this, you are getting a question mark here. If you look at this, you are getting a question mark here. Then go back, team, you find here, add to index. When I say add to index, whenever I make a changes here, that will be added to the index so that the changes will be reflected back into my org. All the changes are reflected back to my org. Now it is coming as star. Now go to this account, then push branch master. I gave push branch master. Right click, team, commit, OK. The changes are committed. Whatever the changes I made, I am committing the changes. Then they're asking test, commit and push. Then URI, go to my repository, copy this file, give that repository path, then username, then I'm giving path here Java SFDC, my password for the GitHub, next, Java SFDC, what I'm doing from this Eclipse I'm pushing onto my master. Look at the point, boss. You're writing a program in your Eclipse, you're giving a right click, you're giving a team, share with the team. Once you share with the team, go back, push upstream, push branch master, next, give the Java SFDC, right? Then I'm giving my account username, password, right? This is getting rejected. Okay, let me cross check. Online people, am I audible here? Okay. Now once again, move on to the page. Give a right, yeah. New Visual Force page, Eclipse, page 3. So first let me finish the deployment, then I'll see how to push them into GitHub. Right, you have done this code. Once you have done this code, whatever the changes I made, if I make any changes, the changes are made. I want to deploy this code to any one of my organization. If you want to deploy my code, so let me take any one of the account. I'll go with 320 org. From 319 org, I want to deploy the code into 320 org. From 319 org, I want to deploy the code into 320 org. We are trying to deploy, just I made a deployment into GitHub, somehow it's failing. But before I do that, let me finish off this deployment using Eclipse. I'll go with GitHub. Right. So let me change my password. Okay. Now go back to this. I want to deploy the code. Give a right click, force.com, deploy to. When you say deploy to server, it is asking you to which org you want to deploy. Dev at the rate of 320.com. Password I'm giving. I gave OpenAP, so no need of security token. Validate. Oops. Go back to the system again. User. System admin. deploy to server. Then remove the destination archive. Next. So give a right click, deploy to server, give the name of the credentials of the organization to which you want to deploy. Then it is showing you what elements you want to deploy. These are the list of elements which I have. So out of this, what I want to deploy, I want to deploy Eclipse page 1, Eclipse page 2, Eclipse page 3. Select the elements which you want to deploy, validate. If already those elements are there in my org, you'll be finding it. Boss, already there are some pages in the 320 org with the same name. If you try to deploy them, it will be override. And it is saying these are the things which doesn't have any test classes. These are using some classes which doesn't have the test code, okay, code coverage. Now select the elements which you want, then click on validate. When you click on validate, validation was successful. Then next, click on finish. Go to this 320 org, setup, Eclipse 3. What is the account here? It's a 320 org. Which org is available on our Eclipse? 319 org is available. From 319 org, we are deploying the code into 320 org. From 319 org, we are deploying the code into 320 org. Once again, look at the deployment procedure. Right click, ports.com, deploy to server, username, password, next. Select what you want to deploy. What you want to deploy. Select the elements. Select the things which you want to deploy. So already I told you there are some overriding elements. It's saying already these elements are existing. If you try to deploy, it will be override. If you try to deploy this, it will be override. Select the elements which you want. Validate. Next. Finish. Is it clear? A simple procedure to deploy. Now simply select, give a right click, choose the force.com, deploy to server, username, password of the organization to which you want to deploy. Then select the elements, validate, deploy. Right? Is that was clear for everyone? This is the way of deploying. What is the advantage of this? We can deploy from any org to any org. Now whatever the pages I develop now, Eclipse, look at the point. Look at the point. If I give a right click, now we have replace with local history. When I say local history, there are two versions available. I selected the first one, replace. Then when I select the first one and replace, what happened? The code was replaced. What was the code I wrote? This is the first page. Now that was replaced with this code. Now we have every time I make a changes, the local copy is maintained. Every time I make a changes, the local copy is available. So I am selecting the local copy, say replace. I am selecting the local copy, I am saying replace it. Replace with. Right, boss? So look at the versions what we have. Local history, there are different versions available. Choose any one of the version and say replace it. Now we have to make the changes here. Then go back to the page, replace with. Right, Amma? Right? This was I modified with the old version. So because it's local repository, it's maintaining a local repository here. Now the same thing if you want to maintain a server-side repository. Now basically what is the advantage of this? From this org I can deploy to any org. Okay. And when you're writing the code, every time I make a change, one local version is maintained. If something goes wrong, I can replace it. I can work offline. Now I can say work offline. Whenever I get internet, I can say sync. I can say work offline. Whenever I get internet, I can simply say, okay, synchronize with my server. So all the changes what I made in my local version, they'll be uploaded to server at a time. I can work without internet. Okay, that's the advantage. Go back to the story again. Team. Then commit. Let me get the file. We are supposed to push it to the what are the things, because I told add to change it. Okay, commit and push. There is some bug happening on my system. Let me cross check once again. Commit. Master. Next, Java SFDC. I have master rejected. New repository. Test project. Create repository. Right. So here we have code. Come back to the story again. Team. Make the changes. Right click. So we have commit. Basically, it should be a push master, branch master, new remote. Let me take my repository name, copy. Test project, username. Next. Finish. Basically, whatever the local repository we are maintaining, that local repository I was trying to push onto my GitHub. so that the people can connect to my GitHub and pull the code. Yeah, it's pushing. Maybe there's some issue with my repository of old file. Now go back to the repository, test project. You are able to see 319. The code is available. The other people can connect to my repository, pull the code. So what they can do, they can go with this, right click, team, pull or fetch from upstream. If it is a new file, pull or fetch from upstream. Fetch from upstream. Okay. Now this is what we got here. Now let me make some changes here. So let me take some page. What is the page? Eclipse page, right? Okay. Open the page. Make the changes here. The other people can connect to this, upload. They can upload like a master, or they can upload like a new master, or they can upload as a same file. When they upload as a new master, new version 1.0, 1.1, like the masters can be created. Changes are made. Commit the changes. Now go to the file, team, fetch from branch master. Okay. Again, the same story repeated. So let me give synchronize with workspace. Let me give you right. So basically, what we are supposed to do here, boss. Okay. There's some. Go to this. Right click on this. Right click on this. Team. We're supposed to fetch from upstream. Go to the fetch from upstream. Master zip. Okay. If they are synced up, the data which is available in my org will be fetched here. Somewhere the connection is missing up from my end. Pull. Okay, right, boss. Let me do it from the structure. Basically, local repository is by default inbuilt here. What I was trying to do is I was trying to push the code into GitHub so that I can maintain the version controlling at the server side. So there is some issues coming up here. Let me create everything from the scratch in the GitHub. There is some issue with this. Let me get the things from the scratch here. If I close the Eclipse again, it will take a lot of time. There is issue of not closing. I know there is some settings are missing. Again, if I start extracting, it will take more time. That's the reason I'm just trying to do the workaround procedure. Right. Some file is missing there. but let's try. I don't want to extract it again. It will take around 10 to 15 minutes again. Just we'll try it out. Any other possible way? Some file was missing for pushing the data. Let me create your repository one more time. New. Right. Create repository. Okay. Go back to the Eclipse. Give a right click. Team. Commit. Let's say push to branch master. New branch master. New repository. What is my new repository we got? I created a new repository here. Copy the new repository. Final test. Then give the credentials of this arc. So basically, I was creating a master in the JIT. Right. Next. Finish. So whatever I am doing here, they are getting pushed to my GitHub. Till then, it is working fine. Now, whatever the code I wrote, the code was getting pushed to this account. New test. Go to the new test. We are able to see the code 319. Open the source file. Now this file will be connected by other users. On my commercial account, other users can connect to my project with whomever I am sharing. The people can connect to my project, pull the code and make the changes to the code. Then whatever the changes are there in the GitHub, I want to pull it back. Now how I uploaded, somebody also will be connected to this. They want to pull the code, what is there in the GitHub. Now some changes are there in this file. Go to the Eclipse. We'll try it once more time. One more time, I'll try it. Basically, it will not take much time. Only settings is the issue. Commit the changes. Then go back to this Eclipse. Give a right click. Team. Fetch from upstream or pull the code. There is a checkout conflict. There is a conflict in the checkouts. Okay. Now get it. Team. Synchronize workspace. I'll try to sync the workspace. There's some bug was. Let me find out and let you know. Okay. So there's some conflict of pushing the data, pulling the data. Okay, let me check out and create it. Let me not waste your time now. Okay. So basically, if you are trying to push the data, what we do? Right click, team, push branch master. Right. Now, if you are trying to get the data, we simply say fetch from upstream. When you say fetch from upstream, automatically the changes which are there should be pulled up here. Okay, so it is not happening. It is not happening. Okay, basically we are supposed to say push to branch master, or we can say fetch from upstream or pull it. Anything can be done, but it's not working out in this case. Some conflict is coming. Okay, let me rectify and let you know. Okay, let us move on to the next. Basically, what is the advantage of going for this Eclipse? Tell me. Okay, CDAB pulling is not happened here. I'll try to record a video. Okay, so let me not waste your time now. Now the point here is, what is the core purpose of Eclipse? GitHub is a second story. That's for version controlling. Now what is the core purpose of Eclipse? I can work with Eclipse, maintain a local repository. I can every time I make a changes, one local copy will be saved here. So if something goes wrong, I can replace it. That's the advantage. I can deploy from any org to any org. I can deploy from any org to any org. That is the advantage of Eclipse. Deployment can be done to any org to any org. Second, we can also compare the codes. When you have a local versions, look at the point. When you are deploying, compare with. I can compare with older version. Look at the point. Go to the page what I want. When you are deploying, I can have both the orgs. I can have both the orgs, and I can compare with any one of my version. Before deployment, I have a choice to compare. I have a choice to compare. I have a choice to compare. I can have org 1, org 2. I can simply select the pages, page 1, page 2. I can compare the codes before I deploy. So when I'm deploying, I can compare what are the changes I made. Okay, the changes are really required or not? Then I can go for a deployment. Now I can create one project. Second, version 1, version 2. Then in the version 1, select the file what you want to deploy. In version 2, select what is the file you want to deploy. Then you can compare them. You can compare them and say what are the changes that are actually done. What are the changes that are actually done? Then you can take a call to deploy or not to deploy. So we have that comparison possibility. Okay, when you are maintaining a versioning, I can compare the old version which is existing, new version what you created, what are the changes you made, which changes has to be reverted back. That I can do it by comparison. We have the compare operator here, right, boss? Okay. So fine. Right. Out of all the possibilities, what is the best deployment model? Right. See, here we know very well that some setting file was not installed properly, but we are not going up because the extraction is taking 15 to 20 minutes time. So we don't want to kill the time there. So I didn't work out on this. So before your actual batch close, I'll try to record a session, or I'll try to take one more time. Okay. Second one. Now, what are the possible ways of deployments? We have chain set, which is one deployment. Second possibility is your Ant. Third possibility is Eclipse. Fourth possibility is people can also go with Workbench, but it's not a good idea. Okay. Fourth one is Salesforce DX. What are the possible ways of deployment we have? One is chain set. Second is Ant. Third one is Eclipse. Fourth one is your Salesforce DX. Now, if you remove the Salesforce DX out of these three, which is the general procedure followed in the company? Ant. General procedure followed in the company is Ant. Now, minor changes will go with the chain sets. But programmatically, if there are a lot of changes you have made, you want to deploy, generally people prefer to go with the Ant way of deployment. Now, Eclipse is also one of the way in which we can read the code. Previously, we are using the Eclipse, but we don't require Eclipse now. We'll go for SFDX. Because the Salesforce has given inbuilt, we'll prefer to go with SFDX. Now, previously, we are using Eclipse because we don't have any inbuilt concepts of version controlling. But now the Salesforce launched SFDX, okay, which is replacing your Eclipse or any third-party tools. Previously, we have Maven Met, IO Stream, this type of third-party tools are there. using which we used to build the programming from third party. But the Salesforce has given inbuilt functionality of SFDX, using which we will be trying to deploy it. Right? Is that was clear? Right. Chalo, that's all from my end.
So Satish, so the